Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's day 23 of the Ramadan program, and today we're going to be talking about Prophet Yahya with Brother Osai Abbas. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. What can you tell us about Prophet Yahya?
Well, Prophet Yahya was a very calm, patient prophet. He was sent by Allah to the Israelites to guide them to the right path. Prophet Yahya, he is a prophet in constant remembrance of Allah. I'll be giving a brief story and lessons, which we will draw some lessons from it of Prophet Yahya. I'll start with the first narration, which was by Imam Ahmad. He reported on the authority of Al-Harith al-Ashari. He said, the Prophet ﷺ said that Allah commanded Yahya to perform 5 righteous deeds and also to instruct his people, which were the Israelites, to do those 5 deeds also. So as Prophet Yahya got this information, he thought to converge his people, the Israelites, in the perfect place, a mosque, which was Al-Bayt al-Maqdis. So as the mosque was full, he sat on an elevated place to get a good view of all of them all. So he started by praising and glorifying Allah. He told them, praise and glorify Allah, who instructed me to do 5 things and instruct you all to do those 5 things. So the first of them, he told them Allah instructed them to worship him. So he told them, worship Allah, and on worshiping and doing that, you should not associate partner with him. Because on worshiping your Lord, you should not also worship something else. So he knew that maybe most of them might not understand this aspect that he told them. So he gave an example in human terms. So he told them, this associated partner with Allah is the same as someone who has the best of wealth, and he buys the slaves with the purest of his wealth, using gold or diamond. And he told them, imagine buying a slave of that cost, and the slave decides or is working for another person instead of you. You now ask them, who will tolerate this? They don't answer. So if humans cannot tolerate it with humans, how would your creator tolerate it with his creation? So after this, he told them the next aspect, which was to pray to your Lord, performing salah. So he told them, perform salah, and upon doing this, do not distract yourself doing salah. For verily, Allah only faces towards those who don't distract themselves from salah. They have khushu during prayer, because prayer cannot be prayer without thinking of your Lord. You can't be praying and thinking of something else. That's not prayer. Prayer is only prayer when you are thinking about your Lord. So after this, he told them that they should also fast. Allah told them fast, because fasting simply means the abstinence of food, water, and bad doings. So he told them that fasting is so great that even Allah says that he prefers the smell, the odor of a fasting Muslim than the musk, which is good fragrance, perfume, deodorant of that of another person. The smell of the odor of a fasting Muslim is better to Allah than the fragrance, good fragrance of someone else. So after all this, the next aspect he told them was to give out charity. Charity is alms giving, which you can divide them into 2. Sadaqah and zakah. Sadaqah can be given out anytime by any person. You can give out even a bit of debino. You can give out any reward anytime. And the next one is zakah. Zakah it can't be done for anyone. It's different from sadaqah. Zakah is done by only in a point in time where your wealth has reached a particular point and you can sustain it for about some period of time. So after this, so he told them the last aspect, which he talked about, was the constant remembrance of Allah. He told them, remember your Lord frequently. And he gave them an example of this. He said, if someone is being pursued by host of enemy, and maybe he wants to kill him, injure him, and he runs, and maybe the enemy gains on him. So imagine if him being pursued finds a fortress, and it then opens for him. He enters and he closes, protects him from the enemy. It's the same as the fortress being Allah, the person running as humans, and the enemy as Shaitan. Shaitan comes to us, maybe not to kill us, but to make us indulge in evil acts, which can lead us to hell, which is worse than even killing itself. So, if we are constantly remembering Allah, it would reduce us from bad deeds and keep Shaitan far away from us. So, as Prophet Yahya is a very good and honorable prophet, he has a life story which also correlates with these members of Allah. This was narrated by Ibn Mubarak. Ibn Mubarak had narrated that Al-Wahib al-Warad said that Zakaria, this is the father of Yahya, he could not find his son Yahya for 3 days. So he decided to go and check for him, because Prophet Yahya likes isolation from men. He likes going to open spaces and deserts. So Prophet Zakaria knew his son very well, so he went to the desert to look for him. So as he was going, when he saw Yahya, he was surprised because he saw Yahya in a grave, which he dug for himself, and he was crying inside. So he approached him and said, "Oh my son, I've been looking for you for the past 3 days, and here you are crying in a grave you dug for yourself." So Yahya also told his father, replied to his father, "Oh father, did you not tell me that between paradise and hell is a crossing, which can be crossed by only the tears of weepers?" Then Zakaria heard this, and he told his son, "Cry, my son," and at the end they cried together. So this is to show that Yahya, since he loves isolation, isolation is not bad, but it's also good to abstain from people at times, which can also help in constant remembrance of Allah. So, of course, if you are remembering Allah constantly, you think about this life, your life, and the hereafter. So Yahya is always isolated. So constantly he remembers Allah, and he's always crying. Another lesson I want to get from Yahya's life is about natural feeding. It was narrated by Muhammad ibn Yahya al-Dakhili, which narrated that Ashihab once said that when he sat down with Abu Idris al-Khawlani while he was telling a story to the people. So while he sat down with him, he asked the people, "Should I tell you the person who ate the purest of food?" Then they looked at him and were confused. They didn't understand what he said. So he told them that the person who ate the purest of food was Yahya ibn Zakaria, son of Zakaria. He ate the purest of food because Yahya loves isolation, deserts, and he eats naturally. He eats on leaves and drinks from rivers which are natural. And while doing so, he isolates himself from people and eats with livestock instead of men. So it's even known that people who eat naturally are more hygienic and even tend to live longer than eating from man-made substances, chemicals. So he eats directly from Allah's creations rather than what humans have created. So on this note, that's why he is said to be the purest of eaters. So I'm sure with all these points, maybe have people who don't know and people who know can continue to try these good deeds.
I've learned so much about what you have said about Prophet Yahya, and you're definitely right about eating natural things. Natural things are way healthier than the chemicals put in food nowadays. So, thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you.
May Allah bless you, and may we be as pure as Prophet Yahya was.
Amen.
And that's a wrap for day 23. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Medina, and don't forget to smash that like button. Ma salam.